Welcome to the Team Task Monday Market Update. My name is Russell J. Task, Realtor with Coldbanker Realty, and today is Monday, March 8th, 2021. Let's talk about the market now, shall we? We're going to talk about listings. Last week, we talked about how January of 2020, there were over 2,000 listings in the Tucson MLS. And January of this year, we're only up to 881. What a drastic decrease that was. And we discussed a little bit about the reasons as to why we have such a low inventory. If you're curious about that, go check out my previous video. Now we're going to take a look at the listings of January of this year compared to March 1st last week, compared to March 8th today this week. The average for Tucson MLS single-family residential homes was 881 listings, compared to March 1st, 919 listings, which is far off from what we would consider a normal, healthy market for the Tucson MLS. But we can see we're headed in that right direction. But now we compare that to this week, which is Monday, March 8th. We're at 884 listings, which is a little bit down from last week, but it's still above our January of this year average. So once we compare and get all the stats of March, we can see whether or not the trend is going to be going up or down or even plateauing with the number of listings in the Tucson MLS. Now, a number of inventory is fine and all, but we all care about the sales price. What's the average sales price? Recapping last week in the Tucson MLS for single-family residential homes, January of 2020 had 303,000 as the average sales price, whereas January of this year had an average sales price of 374. Now, March 1st, which was last week, had an average sales price of 387,000, which we can see is a definite increase from the sales price of January. Now, looking at the average sales price of today, March 8th, 2021 in the Tucson MLS, that is just over 401,000. So with a still lower amount of inventory of this week compared to last week, we're still seeing a higher average sales price. I'm attributing this to just a higher price point per sale this past week compared to the week before. So that was any number of things of higher square footage, greater number of bedrooms, greater number of baths, greater lot acreage, more updated interior, less work to be done. And so that's why we're seeing such a larger sales price of this past week compared to last week. Now, to cap off the Team Task Money Market Update, we're going to go to the interest rate real quick. Last week's interest rate, March 1st, 2021, was 2.984% for a 30-year conventional loan. Whereas this week, Monday, March 8th, 2021, the interest rate is 3.053%. Now, this is a little bit of an increase from last week. One of the reasons that I've heard in speaking to a couple different lenders is that this is because of the recent economic stimulus bill passed by Congress. With the projected economic capacity of buyers to be able to afford houses, the interest rate goes up. So if this is a concern to you, now might be a good time for you to get your pre-qualification, for you to refinance, or for you to buy a house. If you have any questions about what you heard today, anything that you want to see in the future, reach out to me, Russell J. Task, Realtor with Team Task at Coldbanker Realty. Thank you so much. This has been the Team Task Money Market Update, and I'll see you next week.